Welcome to the first serve. We're joined by Luke Saville, who has got out of London and he's in Tennessee, and he joins us now to discuss Wimbledon. You and Max Purcell reached the third round. You lost to the Colombian pair, who are the third seeds. Again, you faced them in Roland Garros and fell to them there. They're a tough task. How do you look back on Wimbledon? Because you had some great tennis there. You beat John Peers and Jordan Thompson in the first round of that classic. How do you reflect on Wimbledon?
Yeah, thanks, Amy, Josh. Yeah, I mean, the third round, it's not a bad result. Maxi and I, we made the third round at the French as well, and like you said, we went down to those guys there as well. We went in with some clear tactics. We tried to learn from that last defeat against those guys, but yeah, it's a tough pair. I saw, they went down today in the quarters after they knocked us off. So yeah, I mean, like you said, our first round victory against those other Aussie boys were, both great mates. All four of us on that court know each other's games very well. Great friends off the court. So those matches are never easy, especially at Grand Slams, especially at Wimbledon. But it's all business on there, and we were a little bit fortunate to get out of that. And then we knocked off a couple of Brits second round, which is always nice. Really good mates with one of those guys, Luke Bambridge. And then then we lost in four sets. We played a great third set against Cabal against the Colombian guys, and just couldn't quite hold our serve in the fourth, and then ultimately went down 6-4, one break of serve. So it was always such a great honour to play at Wimbledon. I know everyone says that, but it really is. I had good success there as a junior and qualified for Wimbledon a few times in the singles. So to go back there, I've got great memories. And to win a couple of matches and to play on court 3, one of my favourite courts there, it was just really exciting to be there again.
Take us inside last week, because it was such a great week for Australian tennis. We had so many wins in the singles and the doubles and the mixed doubles. What was it like being not just at the All England Club, but also at the Park Plaza Hotel, living in this bubble when so many Aussies were winning all at once?
Yeah, it was obviously fantastic having a lot of success on the men's and women's side. Ash is doing so well right now, just winning so many matches and handling herself so good on the world stage, and obviously Isla and two great mates of mine, Tomo and Ducks, making the third round, which is really good results for them. Ducks, one of my really good mates. That was his first third round at a slam, I believe, and just such a good guy, such a good mate, always looking out for each other, and to see that reward for hard work that finally paying off. He's had a lot of injuries throughout his career. I think he was questioning whether he'd ever come back, and for him to knock off Sam Querrey and have a great result like that, and then sort of even in the doubles now, Storm, one of my really good friends as well in the semis of the doubles, of the women's doubles, with an American girl. It's a great time for Australian tennis. We're doing well. Obviously, we're a tight knit group over here. We can't get home right now, so we're sort of really pulling together overseas and doing the best to support each other. And obviously in these bubbles, when we're seeing a lot of each other, we have dinner, we have meals, and just really get around each other. So it's nice to have a really successful Wimbledon as Australians.
Speaking of Australia, you've got the great honour of representing Australia at the Tokyo Olympics later this month. Tell us about that. You must be absolutely thrilled. It's such a special honour to represent the Olympic team.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been on my radar. But, pretty much since we made the Australian Open final, and my ranking really got in this position, to be honest. That's a big part of the reason why I came over so early this year, to keep on working on the doubles ranking and give myself the best possibility to represent Australia. And now that it's actually happening, it's reality. It's incredible, to be honest. It's going to be my biggest achievement by far. Playing for Australia is basically everything. Tennis is such an individual sport, and we never really get together as a team. So now to do that and to play doubles with Johnny Millman, I'm really looking forward to it. We get along really well off the court, and I love everything that he stands for on and off the court when he's played for Australian Davis Cup, Olympics in the past. So I can't think of anyone else I'd rather sort of share the court with and help me through my first experience at the Olympics. So really looking forward to it. Just trying to soak it all in at the moment. I'm leaving to go there in 9 days from the States, so I'm really just going to soak it up and just give it everything I've got.
How were you informed of your selection? Because obviously in athletics and swimming, it comes down to your times. Tennis is a very different sport. How were you told that you've been picked?
I was just messaged, got a text from Jamin Crabb, the coach of the men's team at the Olympics. He said I'd been nominated. I didn't know who I was playing with at the time, but he just said, yeah, I made the cut. I made the criteria. I'm not overly sure what that was. I know there's a total quota of players for both men and women, so I think that's around 6. So I was fortunate enough to have my ranking high enough, put enough results and points on the board to make that cut, to make that nomination. And then I was notified that I'm going to play with John. So, really looking forward to that. We've obviously got a strong team going over with Johnny and my good mate Dux. He's representing Australia Olympics for the first time as well. So we're both incredibly pumped. He stayed back in London to sort of train there, and then we'll meet back up in Tokyo.
Sure, it'll be an incredible experience. Now, lastly, tell us about the build up to Tokyo. I understand that you're in Tennessee at the moment. A lot of Australians would love to be in America now, given looks like that country's opened back up. Tell us about the build up to Tokyo and what you're doing in Tennessee.
I got here last night, pretty much straight from London after we went down, and just sort of taking a few days off. Actually, it's since coming over in early March, I haven't taken a week off to sort of rest up and recharge the batteries a little bit. So I made a pretty clear decision to try and play a lot leading up to the Olympics cut and try and put as many points on the board as possible. And I always eyed this sort of period off as a bit of a break after Wimbledon and before Olympics if I made it. So it's all worked out really well. Today's been a pretty cruisy day, and the next 2, 3, 4 days will be. We're playing a fair bit of golf. Jared Chaplin and myself. So he's the assistant women's tennis coach here. So he also went to college here. John Patrick Smith bases himself out of Knoxville as well. So there's a lot of Aussies here. There's a few Australians on the girls team as well, on the women's team. So it's a really good setup here when I eventually do start hitting sort of early next week. I'm going to have some really good hitting partners. Most of the men's team are coming back from their holidays now and building up to the season. So just sort of just getting ready for that. It's, I think the protocol is going to be quite strict. They're requiring sort of 3 or 4 negative tests in the week leading up to your departure. So they're obviously being very cautious, which is understandable. But hopefully, once we get there, we can stay safe and hopefully just focus on the tennis.
All the best in the build up, and I'm sure you'll have a great experience in Tokyo. Thanks very much for your time on the First Serve.
Thanks, Amy, guys. Cheers.